All right, we are back with some breaking economic data now. In July, inflation rose by 0.2% month over month and by 2.7% year over year. Here to talk more about these numbers and what they really mean for you, NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Cheung and Investopedia's editor-in-chief Caleb Silver. Guys, good morning to you both. Brian, we'll start with you. Let's go over to the big board and walk us through these numbers and how they compare with previous months.
Yeah, well, inflation is picking up in this country. Some of that could be due to the tariffs, but if we just kind of take a look at the number that we just got a few minutes ago, 2.7%. That's how much prices rose in July of this year compared to July of last year. These are the year-over-year rates over the past few months. And you can see we're kind of going in the wrong direction. The rate of inflation is going up after what we saw as market improvement since January. Again, we're still lower than that 3%, which is good news. But again, the question here is, where do we go from here? We started to see some of the tariff effects in that June report. Now we're starting to see that in the July report as well. So again, these are things we're going to have to watch for as we get these numbers going forward.
Okay, let me ask you just your reaction to what we're seeing today. And we can't forget the fact that President Trump just fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics last week. So some people are wondering whether we can trust these new numbers.
That's a big question. But this report doesn't surprise, I don't think, any of us that much. If it was very extreme one way or the other, we might call it into question. But now we're calling everything into question. P.S. The president appointing a new head of the BLS, E.J. Antoni from the Heritage Foundation, announcing overnight. So you look at these numbers and you say, yeah, inflation is creeping up. You strip out food and energy, and I don't know why you would, because we pay for those every month, but that core number is very important to the Fed. That's 3.1%, the highest in 6 months. So you're starting to see this creep up a little bit, not as much as we might have thought, given all the news about tariffs, but it's been more noise than news.
So, Brian, Caleb referenced some of the categories here. Break down the price changes for us as you look at it category by category. What are we seeing there?
Yeah, it's a really fascinating report because when you look at some of the key categories that a lot of people spend money on, things like food, between June and July, we're looking at monthly changes now. While it went up by 0.3% between May and June, it went flat between June and July. That's certainly good news, at least not seeing further price inflation on that front, at least for that month. Energy costs even went down by, get this, 1.1% between June and July. Some of that because of the slight decrease in prices at the pump, down about 3 cents per gallon. Shelter costs, just the cost of putting a roof over your head. Again, rent payments are huge for Americans, going up by 0.2%. That's basically in line with what we saw in the prior month. So if you just look at these three categories, you'd probably say, well, then I actually didn't expect the overall headline number of inflation to go up. But for the reason that Caleb just pointed out, when you strip these things out, other types of categories, things that you might buy for your house or things that you might buy in terms of clothing, those did see price inflation. That is the reason why we saw that headline number higher, even though these key categories actually look relatively okay.
And Caleb, we know that there's another Fed meeting coming up a little over a month from now. How did these numbers impact some of the decision making there? People are wondering whether there might be an interest rate cut.
Yeah, 36 days, 5 hours, and 15 minutes from now exactly is when we'll get that Fed. No, I'm not counting. You're counting. But the probability of a Fed cut has now gone up to about 85% if you look at Fed fund futures. That's probably due to that weak labor report and those revisions from those prior months. But also, inflation is creeping up. The Fed's job, keep prices steady, stable, and keep the labor market at full employment. Both are moving in the wrong direction. Probably time for a cut if it wasn't time last month.
Yeah, and Brian, we referenced tariffs here, right? Because that's always sort of hanging over us. People are thinking about it. What about the tariffs that went into effect last week? Are they having any impact on this data, or is it really too early to tell that?
Yeah, that's the shadow looming over all of this. But again, what we're talking about here is the July jobs report. So this would not have reflected the tariffs that took effect last week. But here are the categories that I'll be watching for as we go into the next few months. And I'll show you the kind of the inflation rates and things that we've already seen. Again, Brazil, 50%, Canada, 35%, Vietnam, 20%, the EU up to 15%. These all kicked in last week, but again, would not have been reflected in this report. So when you take a look at a category like cars, which are a major export from Canada, they went sideways in terms of prices between June and July. Apparel, again, kind of knowing that Vietnam is a major exporter, that did go up by 0.1%, not that much. And EU, I'm picking cheese because that's a major export to the United States. Those costs actually went down by 0.4% during the month, again, underscoring that actually prices were falling prior to those tariffs taking effect. Coffee, this is a major export from Brazil, again, at a 50% tariff rate. You can imagine how expensive it could get. it is already getting more expensive even prior to the tariffs, up by 2.3% just during the month. A big reason for that is because of a drought that was already happening in Brazil. Again, you can imagine that once those tariffs start to take effect, that could get even worse. So we'll have to watch for these types of categories as we go into the next few months.
All right, we'll be watching cheese and coffee. Got it. Brian Cheung, Caleb Silver, thank you both.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.